Yeah.
And we are trying to get to all these questions, but we absolutely have a hard stop in 35 minutes. We actually didn't even intend to go that long.
So let's get through it.
So yes, this is a good old one for this question comes up quite a bit, but it's an important one.
With is specifically for mixins, and it allows you to handle multiple mixins as well. They also the mixins run their functions in the order in which you supply them in the with statement, if I remember rightly. And then extends is the same as like Java. You're extending a base class.
And you can only extend one class.
Yes, I think. Yeah, you can extend one class, but you can have multiple mixins on top of that, solving the diamond problem, which is a multiple inheritance problem, which you'll find if you go look up online. And then implements is about implementing the entire interface of another class. So normally that's an abstract class, but it's, again, you can extend an abstract class as well. It becomes essentially, if you extend an abstract class that has no methods implemented, it's the same as implementing that interface. So basically just means that you have to specify every method, right? And every getter or whatever for what you're implementing. Normally implements is not what you want to do unless if you've got a large interface, that's a lot of functions in your class. But a lot of the time you can do this as, again, solving the diamond problem by having multiple things that you're implementing as well. Yeah. So you can also get away with that way. So if you've got like a callback function or something like that. But a lot of the time it's not used that way anymore. It used to be used that way a lot in the object orientation before we had Lambda. Lambda and closure are the principles of passing functions as parameters or even doing some other crazy things like having a function return a function. Like second order functions, I think they're called. Anyway, but all those principles now are what you use. So, for example, when you specify onPressed a lot in Flutter, and you specify parentheses equals pointy bracket and then some sort of one line of code, that is a Lambda expression. That's what it's called. It's also, if you access a variable from outside of your scope of that function, that's then a closure as well. And essentially, you're doing what most people would originally have done with implements. That is, they would implement the interface of one function. And it's all handled for you, and it's more modern. So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, implements only ensures that your class has every single attribute of another parent class.
Mm.
It doesn't really add any code to your class, so that means you end up having to, if you don't already have this from your extends hierarchy, you have to then add all the functionality of that class.
Something actually I want to mention as well is something that people forget, and that is you can have a class with code and you can still implement it, and you have to implement every method. It just treats it as if there was no methods implemented.
Yeah.
Because every class in Dart is an interface, right? It can behave like an interface. So you don't. That's one of the reasons why, like, coding to an interface, the style of always having abstract classes that provide abstract functionality is not normally the way you do it in Dart, because it's just not necessary. Like, you have your concrete implementation, and then you can do your further strategy pattern, or you can do your further implementations of that, and away you go. You don't really need to have interfaces as such.
Yeah, Dart structures are like Java structures, but correct.
Right?